talk to you about butter making and its importance for the people who lived in the countryside in the late 1800s and the beginning of the 1900s. There was a couple reasons why it was very important for the people in the countryside to be able to make their own butter. First of all, they had to make everything on their own. So if they wanted some butter, they had to be able to make it by themselves. Another reason why butter making was very important was in order to be able to sell butter, or rather to be able to trade it in the markets in exchange for other things they needed. So the first step to make butter was to go milk a cow, and then you could bring back the milk, and then you had to pour the milk in this centrifuge, and this centrifuge would separate the milk from the cream. So the milk came out of here and could be placed in this metal can, while the cream came out of here and could be placed in this bowl. Afterwards, you could pour all the cream into this object you call a churn. And in order to make butter, you had to move the wooden stick up and down continuously in order to make some butter. You had to move the wooden stick for about an hour to transform only 1 liter of cream into butter. Since it took so much time and that you had to move it non-stop, it was therefore the children's responsibility to do this task. I mean, they could take some turns, especially when it took several hours. Let's say you had 5 liters of cream into this churn. And mom was often pretty busy in the kitchen or in the garden, while dad was busy on the farm. So that's why the children would take care of this task. This object you see right here is called a manual butter worker. So when you had the butter, you could place it on this wooden board and then roll the hexagonal roller on top of the butter in order to separate the butter from the buttermilk. So once the butter is separated from the buttermilk, there's still a little bit of buttermilk left in the butter, so you have to run the butter under cold water to get rid of all the extra buttermilk. Afterwards, you can take the butter, add some salt, and then place that ball of butter into this thing right here. So it's a butter mold, but we call it a butter pound since it's actually a pound, and it's because of the action of pounding the butter into this mold. So once all the butter was placed in this butter pound, the butter would take the shape of a brick. And afterwards, you could also stamp it. In this case, you had a tiny little rabbit, and that's how you could know where the butter came from when you would exchange it in markets or with people in your surroundings. Thank you very much. I'm done explaining to you how to make butter. You're probably very grateful you don't have to follow all these steps to have your own butter at home. Buying it at the grocery store is much simpler.